Right. Perfect. So yeah, we're just going to run through a little trader interview, and we'll move like through, your journey so far and any challenges you've had and sort of the success that you've seen, and then we'll finish off at the end. But could we just start by like giving a little run through of, how you got into trading in the first place and a little bit about your background?
Yeah, that's I think the biggest part. My background is I started off as a car mechanic when I
Okay.
was 18. I was enjoying driving. I was enjoying working on my car, and I thought, well, made it my profession. So I went to school for it, and I finished the school. Worked for Toyota, and when I was finished with school, they released the Toyota Prius. And like 6 months in my job, they got a call back from like thousands and thousands of Prius
Yeah.
with computer failures.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was constantly on the computer. I was not anymore a car mechanic. I was just on my laptop inside the car, only doing things I didn't like. So I quit that job, and I went for chauffeur.
Yeah.
So I went truck driving, got all my licenses, got my papers to work for a transport company, and I enjoyed it there a lot. Made it my made a tough decision to go back to school
Mm-hmm.
because I was enjoying also the management side of the job. So I went for logistic manager back to school. I finished that as well. And when I was finished with that job, with that study, I got ill,
Mm-hmm.
and I got more ill, and I was a lot home. I had about 150 operations that year alone.
You had
So that was
150 operations.
very intense. They found I don't know if it's the correct English word, but autoimmune illness,
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Auto.
chronic disease. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that they didn't know how to solve it. Simply said, there were not many patients with the same illness. It's in my lymph clear.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and they get swollen and inflammations in my body, and they have to take it out to stop the inflammation.
Hmm.
Very painful, the disease, and I was 24. I got it, and I was 25. I was 100% disability by the government, so I couldn't work, nothing to do, and I was so mad about it that I didn't have any more money. I didn't have any more future. I wanted a family. I wanted, the things I worked hard for, and
Yeah.
that dream that was a little bit crushed by the illness. I had a lot of time, and I had a computer, so I went to search on money, and crypto was booming at that time. It was like everybody was crying they didn't buy crypto in 2017, and it was going to the moon. And I was very interested in about it, what it all meant, and I went into the charts. There I learned what candlestick charts are from crypto, and I found it way too unreliable. I didn't have the feeling I could make my living out of it, because I didn't have the idea that it would continue forever like it was.
It's very
Um,
volatile, right?
in the, it's way too volatile to build some certainties on it, I
Yeah.
guess,
Sure.
for me. And especially when you're beginning, then you make so much mistakes that every little bit of is too much.
Hmm.
So that brought me to Forex, and I was searching on Telegram, and I was in a lot of signal groups, and I used some EAs on MT4. You could buy the MQL5 market. You
Yeah.
could buy all kind of EAs, and one was 15,000, and the other one was $5. And yeah, I went crazy with it. I bought a lot of those different things and I went testing with demos. And the most of the things that I encountered was it was all failing. Everything was failing. Everything I was trying, it looked so promising, and then the results were none, or I'm losing money.
Hmm.
And I think the hardest part was just to continue, just to keep looking, keep searching, keep going. And I don't even know where I found you guys. I was thinking about it the last week, like
Yeah.
so many things. I think I found it on Google. There was
Yeah.
some review somewhere, and it was just like a spider web of things
Yeah.
with a lot of wrong things, and then one good thing.
Was that in
Yeah,
the firstly, I just want to say like I'm sorry that you had to go through all like that struggle and that crazy period of your life. Like that sounds super stressful. And
yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to say sorry for that. Like that's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable start to the interview. I didn't expect that, but
yeah,
um I appreciate you sharing it. I really do because I really like the trader interviews that we do there where people are like a little bit more vulnerable because then you
yeah.
understand how far that person has actually come. Um,
Yeah, I lost everything. I
that's what
lost
I mean.
literally everything. When I was ill, I had a good job, like 40 hours a week, like a management function. I had proposed to my girlfriend.
Yeah.
She said yes. I had a nice car. I bought my home, and like in 2 or 3 weeks, it was all gone.
This,
My,
this
I had to sleep in my car because my house was sold. I lost my job. My wife went. Everything was gone. Only because I went ill, and I don't know why.
this kind of explains why I mean it kind of doesn't, but it kind of explains why you're a good trader because
Yeah, yeah. That I
because
heard that a lot.
like the resilience that you've built up going through all those experiences in your life, like you know,
Yeah, you
anything
can't
that
quit.
happens in trading isn't really going to compare to that. So that explains why, yeah, that explains why you're doing well in trading, to be honest. But what would you say were three things that you struggled with before you found POW in terms of
Um,
trading?
Backtesting.
Yeah,
So I think the POW community learned me how to appropriately backtest things because I didn't know what data I could trust
yeah,
because there is a lot of data. There is a lot of course, if you Google how to backtest, you find a lot of forums and reviews, and you can try all. And for instance, I was doing most of my backtest on MT4. I didn't know about the backtesting in MT5, and I didn't know how you could import history. I
uh-huh,
all those things, and I definitely didn't understand the difference between brokers because I thought, yeah, a good broker is a good broker, and like it's if you're first into the game, you think everything is fair. Like if
yeah,
one have a price, then the other one should have the same. But that's not how it works. Like brokers use different commissions, different spreads, different tick data. Everything is different.
yeah,
So I was, for instance, when I started POW, I was running on my Forex fund.
yeah,
I had a lot of capital and I had a lot of challenges running when they go down. Um, but for instance, I learned the difference in spread because of their, how do you say that? Uh, they did something wrong.
the what?
Illegal practices they did because
Yeah,
they manipulated the
they
spreads because
manipulated it. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
saw the difference because I was running it on the not on the IC market demo, but on the
yeah,
straight on the, so my whole POW went
yeah.
crazy.
They add slippage and they add
Yeah,
like delays and stuff to make you
yeah. I have
fail,
some. I
basically.
had some crazy examples, like a difference of like the graph was not there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
my position was closed about 100 pips above
Yeah.
whenever the price has been. So that was, yeah, there were crazy examples how but I made a lot of money through
Yeah.
them. So
So,
because I started manual,
so
I was trading manual.
if nothing had changed like before you found POW? Like, where do you think you'd currently be?
If I didn't found POW,
Like, if nothing had changed since that point, since you was
I
like
think I would
struggling,
trade manual.
you'd be
I would,
trading.
yeah, I would not trust the algo. I had given up on algo a long time before I found POW,
Yeah,
and because I think it was because somebody else also tried it that I trusted.
yeah,
Somebody that in my WhatsApp group or Telegram group didn't knew him personally, but I knew he wasn't lying to me.
yeah.
And he told me, well, it's a good EA and it works. And I was like, okay, well, let's try it then. But I already had given up on the fact that it could work, that you had a robot that could make money for you, and that you didn't have to trade manual. That was
It seems too good
yeah.
to
The
be true
difference is
sometimes.
yeah. It's too good to be true
Yeah, it
if you
is.
think about. But it is not good to be true because you have to do so much more. It's not putting on a robot and
Yep.
the thinking and the planning and the way yo. It's maybe more than manual trading.
I think that's what I think that's where I think that's where PAL differentiates is the fact that well now anyway it's like we like PAL actually provides a process to follow and to actually stay in line with making sure that EA actually works
Yeah.
because all these other EAs I'm sure the ones that you tried before that you bought off you MQL5 or whatever it's called like I'm sure they worked for a certain period of time but then
No.
all turned to shit. So
No, I
isn't that
never had
good?
somebody work. No, only on demos. Like I
See,
don't.
that's
The
just
moment I
insane.
went live with those things, it went to shit.
Yeah, so it's a common misconception that like EAs can be plug and play and set and forget. And that's what
Never.
I really like about Power is the fact that we've moved away from, having that misconception and now there's actually a process that everyone can follow and if you do follow it, hopefully achieve success. But what have you
Yeah.
focused on since you've been inside Power? Have you been using Banker EA? Have you used Red Alert? Is there any other?
No, I never have the chance to. I want to buy Red Alert. I want to buy the additional licenses, so then I get Red Alert additionally. I
Yeah,
was never a member when Red Alert was
yeah,
developed
well,
or pushed out, so I didn't knew about it. I think also because my manual trading very learns you that you have to avoid news.
yeah,
Don't be that stupid greedy one that goes to the casino
yeah, yeah,
because it's too much. So yeah, that didn't commute for me in my head. Why should I
yeah,
go if everything works? But if I get it on the side, of course I will be testing it and I will be um, using it to diversify my portfolio because that's where I am at the point now. Like in the beginning, you're scrambling to get your first things and you can't even spread things out. But now my yeah, well, I have a lot of funded that's
Is that
coming
you?
regular income.
Is that using Banker EA or are you
Yeah.
using Edge? Do you
Also, manual and bankery.
manual and banker? So what
Yeah.
what sort of success have you seen like in terms of capital gained, funded accounts and withdrawals?
I think at the moment I'm at 1.6 million funded,
Lovely, mate.
and I think I've withdraw 90, maybe 100. Okay.
Jeez, crazy,
So
man.
that's nice. Of
That's
course, there went a lot
insane.
of cost. So if I think I'm now at the point that I'm this year I'm finally making money. Like so,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
instance, there was a lot of money going into it before I found
yeah,
POW, before I found and my advantage was I was coming from nothing, so I had no income. I had a government payment of 720 euros every month,
yeah,
and then I have to rent, eat, buy clothes. So that was very difficult, and I had not much to invest.
yeah.
So technically, the 1.6 and the is started from like what 100 euros,
Yeah, wow, that's
and
crazy.
that's just multiplied, multiply, multiply.
Wow, that's insane. That's absolutely crazy. What sort of prop firms have you been with then?
Everyone,
Everyone.
yeah, MFF, FTMO, 5%ers, Cortana, OnlyFans, Quantec, Infinity.
Every
And yeah,
literally
the
covered them
most
all.
common one. Yeah.
And you've taken withdrawals from all of them or
Infinity has been the worst
hit and miss?
because I had a large amount and they didn't pay it out. I still am waiting on it. They don't respond to my emails, and it's
Yeah.
very strange because I have two accounts and the other one where it was less is already been paid out.
I remember
So
this. I remember seeing this in the chats. I remember, I think it was you that shared it, that you had both accounts running, but one was at double the lot multiplier.
more than double. Yeah.
Yeah. So they paid
Yeah.
out a small one, but they
Yeah,
didn't
and
a
they
big
didn't do
one.
the big
I
one.
mean,
Yeah,
what?
so that's it. So I'm trying to like it's annoying because I am at the point that I'm gonna say like fuck it, reset my account. I will do a
Yeah.
small one, get my money back, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
leave it at that. But okay, it's fine.
So
Um,
what would you say was like the main thing that made you more consistent with your trading? If you used to say one thing that made you more consistent, what would it be?
Darren,
Darren.
yeah, not
Wow.
fucking about.
I'm
He's
gonna
like
I'm gonna tell
he's
him.
speaking the exact same language as I'm. Like there are not a lot of people that are um it's not
There's not a lot of genuine people in the industry,
no,
basically.
that are willing to talk to people like that because
Mm,
they're thinking I will lose the audience, or people won't like it if I am swearing, or
yeah,
if I
yeah,
am saying what I'm thinking. And if somebody says a stupid question, he says, what a fucking stupid question. And to be
yeah.
fair, like if you have an audience of 400 people, it's not
Yeah,
very like no business
yeah,
one would
yeah.
advise you to say that. But
To
he's
speak
just
like
like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I will go on with it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
um, yeah, that's for me that just grabbed me, and yeah, I love that. And I'm
Yeah,
just listening to, because it is true what he says. If you're not just overthinking and just everything has to be detailed, and no, he says something, just try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works, well, thank you, Darren.
yeah,
It's so easy, and he
yeah,
explains it so easy, and people still fucking it up.
yeah.
Like that's yeah, that's
I
something
honestly think like from watching the live Q&As, like from the information that Darren gives on the live Q&A,
yeah,
in terms of like progress, if someone was to
yeah,
join, just watch
definitely.
those,
Yeah,
like
all the
your
one, all
trading will
ones, all
go
replays. Just start from one.
exponentially up.
Yeah,
Like it's
definitely.
insane. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna pass it on to him. I'm sure he'll be very pleased. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
So what?
spoken to him before on the support chat, and I already said to him that I really enjoyed his kind of
His approach.
style. Yeah, his approach and how he
It's no nonsense, right? It's straight
yeah,
to the point. There's no beating around the bush. There's no fucking around. But yeah, I think that's why
no,
people follow it, because it's you just know that it's genuine.
yeah. And
So
of course, they had to be make money, and it's not like he's giving all the things for free, and he's making good money of it. I know that, and he's deserving it. And
yeah,
it's so silly that a lot of people in this industry, or you are just shy to be making money
yeah.
because you're selling bullshit. That's
Mm,
most of the reason. Or the other way around, that you don't know what you're saying, and you don't ask money for it, and you're
yeah.
just
True.
yeah. And Darren is just exactly the same. He's the right price for the right information. No bullshit. It just works if you listen to him, and I love it. I love it.
That's great stuff, man. That's great stuff. So if we haven't covered it already, could you give me three reasons why you'd recommend POW?
Um, well, I think the main reason is because of Darren, and of course the team around him. He is important, but I think the main person to listen to, if you need to capture information, you need to align with it. So look some things up from him. If he is the person that aligns in your way of thinking, then Pau is going to be wonderful for you. If you have trouble listening to him, don't, yeah, well, then I would advise you to maybe do something else. But
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think that is the most key part. And second of all, I think why, because it works. and not a lot of EA's works. It gets updates every week because you're working on it every day, I think, and that gives a nice feeling. It gives I don't know the English word.
Your
Yeah,
confidence.
consistency in your
Yeah,
life. You
yeah,
don't have to worry about are they gonna do something next week or is it gonna fail. It gives you like a thing that this is there for life,
yeah,
and maybe not, but it gives you that feeling, and that's a nice feeling to have. It
yeah,
gives you confidence. Um, and the third reason is, I guess, it also gives you some insights on the manual trading. So yeah, you have to think about the basics. You have
yeah,
to work around the news. So POW is also a good EA to combine things. You don't
yeah.
have to only do algorithm or only do F manual. You can combine the two.
I think that's one of the main things about the bank at EA is like there's so many different ways that you can trade it. Like
Yeah,
it's not just one size fits all. Like my approach compared to your approach is probably completely different.
yeah,
Your approach to Darren's approach is different. Like everyone trades something different. And whether you're, like you just said, coming from a background of manual trading or algorithmic trading, like there's always going to be a way that you can trade the banker EA to suit
yeah,
your style and your approach. And I think that's what makes it so powerful, but it's also what makes it kind of overwhelming at the start because
yeah. That is true.
when you see it
That's
all
true.
in front of you and you see all the inputs, you're like, where do I start? Like, what do I choose? And you
There are
just
too many options,
yeah, there's
definitely.
too much to know. But once you simplify it and you just focus on one thing and one thing only, then it's just gonna be, yeah, you just take off.
But you don't. It's not like you have to think like I'm going to do this. I'm going to set it up in a week and then I'm done. You have to like
Yeah,
at least have a month of education. If you're willing to work every day, you need at least a month of education
yeah.
before you can even set a portfolio up on a demo account.
Do you know how
Because
many
only the
people?
hmm?
Yeah, how many people I've heard say that on these trader interviews is like most people say like, oh, at the start I tried to rush it, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have to go back and watch all the education and actually learn and digest it. Because like I think most people actually skip that part.
I had a phrase in the beginning with a mate. I'm working with my brother. Well, I call it little brother, but he's not so little anymore.
Yeah.
But and a friend of mine, and we're doing like trading and crypto, and well, we're sharing knowledge. And both of the guys were always like, you need to try things on demo. And I was a demo is for pussies,
Yeah.
just throw it in. You need to
Yeah, throw
learn
it
it the
on,
way.
man.
Yeah, throw it away. And yeah, well, I think after like some while, I realized like that you need demos
Yeah.
to get confident about your
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's
100%.
yeah, a very expensive one.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah,
learned that hard way as well. Like at the start, like I think I saw like I got really lucky at the start and I got like made some money or whatever. And then I was like, fuck demos. Like I'm just gonna keep putting money into my live accounts and honestly, I woke up in the morning, it was all gone, absolutely devastated.
yeah.
And brought me right back down to reality. And I remember someone saying to me, you need to practice on a demo for 6 months first. And I was like, 6 months. I was like,
Six months.
haven't got time for
Yeah,
6 months, man. Like, I need
yeah,
to get there now.
yeah. You're not gonna
And
get
he
there
was
now.
actually right. So yeah, it's an expensive lesson to learn, but I think you have to go through it to be honest.
Yeah,
So I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but yeah, great stuff. And glad to see your success. And thanks for being vulnerable and sharing what you went through as well at
of
the
course,
start.
mate. Of course.
Um, all adds to it and it just shows how how far you've come and how much resilience that you've built up to go on and achieve the success that you're seeing. So yeah, well done to you, man.
Thanks,
And
man. Thanks.
thanks so much. Yeah. So I'm just going to click to stop recording